For a little over 3 years. SEO, you've helped us with the migration of our website when we switched domains, content creation, outreach work. It's been a great customer experience. I know that if I'm not able to dedicate time to my own website some weeks or even months, I know it's in good hands.
I've known Luke and Ant for years now and I know they're good boys.
You can always get in contact with anybody there. It just gives us confidence. We started with very little knowledge of the industry, and again they've worked with us over the time. They have the knowledge, the capability and the real understanding of the kind of market we're in.
That they've been really open, really friendly. I definitely know that they push the boat on a lot of projects. Even though we say do this, they'll probably do 5 things going towards that. So yeah, it's been great.
You know, these people are experts in what they say they do. For us, they've been a massive positive and you know, moved the business forward.
It's been a great working relationship and we look forward to it continuing.
We always get a quick response. If I send an email comes back. If I call up, people call back. It's probably doubled the amount of visits to the site and conversions have gone up significantly.
I would not hesitate in recommending Sleeping Giant to non-competitors of mine.
We're big fans of Sleeping Giant Media and Giant Campus. We love all of the courses and we have learned a lot. And everyone seems really happy and seems really keen to share their knowledge. So yeah, it's a really great company.
100% recommend it to everyone. It's hosted by Sleeping Giant Media, and I came away with what I felt was the makings of a strategy that I could actually apply to the business.
We've been working with Sleeping Giant Media for a little over 3 years. SEO, you've helped us with the migration of our website when we switched domains, content creation, outreach work. It's been a great customer experience. I know that if I'm not able to dedicate time to my own website some weeks or even months, I know it's in good hands.
I've known Luke and Ant for years now and I know they're good boys.
You can always get in contact with anybody there. It just gives us confidence. We started with very little knowledge of the industry, and again they've worked with us over the time. They have the knowledge, the capability and the real understanding of the kind of market we're in.
That they've been really open, really friendly. I definitely know that they push the boat on a lot of projects. Even though we say do this, they'll probably do 5 things going towards that. So yeah, it's been great.
You know, these people are experts in what they say they do. For us, they've been a massive positive and you know, moved the business forward.
It's been a great working relationship and we look forward to it continuing.
We always get a quick response. If I send an email comes back. If I call up, people call back. It's probably doubled the amount of visits to the site and conversions have gone up significantly.
I would not hesitate in recommending Sleeping Giant to non-competitors of mine.
We're big fans of Sleeping Giant Media and Giant Campus. We love all of the courses and we have learned a lot. And everyone seems really happy and seems really keen to share their knowledge. So yeah, it's a really great company.
100% recommend it to everyone. It's hosted by Sleeping Giant Media, and I came away with what I felt was the makings of a strategy that I could actually apply to the business.
We've been working with Sleeping Giant Media for a little over 3 years. SEO, you've helped us with the migration of our website when we switched domains, content creation, outreach work. It's been a great customer experience. I know that if I'm not able to dedicate time to my own website some weeks or even months, I know it's in good hands.
I've known Luke and Ant for years now and I know they're good boys.
You can always get in contact with anybody there. It just gives us confidence. We started with very little knowledge of the industry, and again they've worked with us over the time. They have the knowledge, the capability and the real understanding of the kind of market we're in.
That they've been really open, really friendly. I definitely know that they push the boat on a lot of projects. Even though we say do this, they'll probably do 5 things going towards that. So yeah, it's been great.
You know, these people are experts in what they say they do. For us, they've been a massive positive and you know, moved the business forward.
It's been a great working relationship and we look forward to it continuing.
Campus, we love all of the courses and we have learned a lot. And everyone seems really happy and seems really keen to share their knowledge. So yeah, it's a really great company.
100% recommend it to everyone. It's hosted by Sleeping Giant Media, and I came away with what I felt was the makings of a strategy that I could actually apply to the business.
We've been working with Sleeping Giant Media for a little over 3 years. SEO, you've helped us with the migration of our website when we switched domains, content creation, outreach work. It's been a great customer experience. I know that if I'm not able to dedicate time to my own website some weeks or even months, I know it's in good hands.
I've known Luke and Ant for years now, and I know they're good boys.
You can always get in contact with anybody there. It just gives us confidence.
Hi guys, and welcome to the Business as Unusual show. It is Wednesday, 4:30. We are halfway through the week, and exciting news. I am going to have a holiday day on Friday, so there won't be a show. So for the first time since lockdown, I'm going to have a day off. So I will be back again next Wednesday, refreshed, regrouped, ready to go again. So for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Luke. I'm the CEO of Sleeping Giant Media and Giant Campus. We're a digital marketing agency focused on getting relevant traffic to our clients' websites. So if you're on our social channels right now, please do hang around, check out some of the contents, hopefully some useful ideas that you can kind of take. I've got a fantastic guest on the show. He has been helping us as a mentor, as an advisor, the infamous Terry Hewett, who we'll introduce very shortly. So let's get the show underway. Hi guys, and so we'll be interviewing Terry in just a second. So as before, please remember to use the chat feature if you've got any questions for Terry. I can see Ian Hewett, another Hewett. We don't know if there's a relation. We were speculating. So Ian, if you've got questions, please do put them to Terry. It could be related to the name. We'd like to find out more. So without further ado, Terry, how are you doing, sir? You doing okay?
Good. I'm good. I'm a little bit worried about Ian. It's not some son I didn't know about, is it? That's what's worrying me at the moment.
We will find out hopefully by the end of the show. It could be a new feature on the show. It could be something that we build into future content as well.
I don't want to worry him, but my 3 daughters have taken all the money, so there's not much.
Fair. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Ian, if there is an ulterior motive in terms of possibly trying to some money at the end of it, unlikely to happen at the moment, I'm afraid to say. So Terry, could you just give a bit of an introduction to yourself and to Copper Bottom, please, as well?
Yes. So basically, for most of my career, I was at Zest the agency, which I sold my shareholding about 2 years ago, and then set up Copper Bottom Investments with 3 other partners. The idea being of the company is obviously to mentor, advise, make companies investment ready, find investment, and basically stay with them for their journey. It's a much simpler way of growing your business when you've got people around you that have already made lots of mistakes and know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one because I think the stuff, obviously the work you've been doing with us has been great having you on board, because it's obviously been some particularly challenging scenarios that we've been going through recently, and actually having, as you said, almost it's the unknown unknowns that trip you up as a business owner. Having somebody that's made some of those mistakes, as you said, has been particularly useful. So what sort of stuff do you advise on in terms of the work that potentially we've been doing together, or work you do with other companies? What are the sort of the key areas that you cover off?
It's from an industry perspective. Obviously, from my involvement with Copper Bottom, a lot of it is in the communication sector, so marketing, advertising, public relations, digital type of thing. And generally, as you know, my favourite saying is, "I don't know what I don't know." So bringing that scenario into companies where people are constantly asking me questions, as you do, are we going down the right route? Should we be doing it this way or that way? Have you done this before? Did it work? It's basically it's just sharing some of that burden with company owners and company directors, in terms of it's nice to have someone to talk to that's not directly involved in the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And how are how is the sort of the lockdown? How has this sort of pandemic impacted the work that you've been doing with those businesses? What sort of changes have you seen?
Well, it's interesting. So one of the businesses I work with is Mum's Bakes Cakes, which is the cake version of Interflora. Mm-hmm. So they use 400 or 500 bakers nationally so they facilitate people getting cakes effectively. They thought things were going to go very quiet because bakers didn't want to deliver, but it changed to a large postal service, so they had to develop ways of getting cakes to people through the post without postie smashing them to pieces. So they saw a massive increase in business. They've seen 600% growth, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
So they had to change the way that they were thinking, the way they were doing work, and pretty much how they recruit new bakers and new customers.
Interesting. What we talked about this before in our sort of chats, but how do you think this situation is different to recessions, 2008, for example? Like, what's the sort of the notable differences at the moment between the two?
Well, so if you look at most other recessions are generally caused by money supply problems, where we basically overspent to the point where we can't really pay it back anymore. I don't mean necessarily as individuals, but generally as a nation. This is a shock. The pandemic was a crisis. No one saw it coming, so no one knew how to react. The closest I've come to that in the past was 9/11, where obviously everything stopped overnight. The difference here as well is that because the financial markets closed down after 9/11, they haven't through this. They've carried on trading, and I was actually surprised that our drop was only 20% in April. I was expecting to be more than that. So it's quite amazing just how much work and trading and economics still carried on, even though people were sitting at home doing nothing. Well, they weren't doing nothing, were they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
they were buying from Amazon and making Jeff Bezos very wealthy. That's basically what they were doing.
He's doing all right. I do see a lot of Amazon at the moment. I mean, I was a bit obsessed with Amazon prior to this, admittedly, but I think there's it's potentially less incentive at the moment, isn't there, to go out and buy it when you can have it delivered.
Or is there, based on what we were looking at Primark?
Well, this is it. Actually, on that note, let's have a look. Was that
a good link?
That was a very good link. You're like a pro, Terry. I didn't know this about you. This is another new skill set. So this is a video one of the guys has kind of found online, which just looks at. This is in Birmingham. This is the queue for Primark on opening day. Clearly not deterred people, as we were just saying. Like, clearly there's there is an appetite to get back out. I mean, what's your sort of thoughts around what that means for the recovery or the curve in terms of how this comes back as a sort of revenue line?
Well, you have to feel sorry for those poor people, don't you? Because how did they survive without Primark for 3 months?
The other thing is, why did Primark not have an online delivery feature? Surely that was a bit of a... I know why they didn't. I've read the article as to why they didn't, but it's like, surely there's a bit of a gap there for being able to sell. They had to shut everything overnight because they weren't able to do it. But so I mean, what is it? I mean, there's a positivity there that people are back out, and there's good signs for the economy. What do you think that means? For other businesses and how things might start unlocking and coming back online.
Well, as humans, I think we're pretty resilient, aren't we? I mean, that's the whole point. We tend to cope with things and bounce back very, very quickly. Fear is generally the only thing to fear in itself, and I think that people getting back out and wanting to do things, you can't lock us down forever. We've got to get it back out there. And of course, the next big thing is going to be the pubs opening, pubs and restaurants, isn't it? On hopefully the 4th of July, if we can sort out the 2 or 1 metre rule, because some of those pubs in London will not be able to open if it's a 2 metre rule.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think it will hang around in terms of a 2 metre rule? Because I think we're one of only 3 countries that has the 2 metre rule at the moment.
No, I think Boris will decide it'll be 1.5, or will it be 1.3 or 1.2 or 1.1 or go to 2 or 2.2?
Because you get to 1 metre and it's kind of normal, normal operating procedures, I'd have thought.
Yeah, I mean,
other than not touching stuff, and
I'm just trying to remember the last time I was in a pub and whether I was rubbing up against people at the bar.
That sounds a little bit odd, Terry. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, well, it didn't mean to be odd. I'm just saying.
Okay. Just for clarification, I'm waiting for the chat to explode on that comment. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be. I was talking to someone and they were talking about like a lot more outdoor seating as an opportunity, which could be quite nice. And, I mean, obviously we don't always have the weather for it in the UK, but it'd be quite nice to have a bit more outdoor seating in the high streets.
Well, assuming the pub has a beer garden, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, are we? I suppose are we going to go to a bistro society where, like in France, where we all sit outside, sipping out coffee for 4 hours?
That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? Be nice.
It would, but I can't see. If you got a 2 metre distance, all sitting outside drinking a cup of coffee and make it last for 4 hours, none of those restaurants or bars are going to survive, are they?
No, that is true. That is true. The capacity and the covers will not be particularly significant in that one. So, in terms of kind of the businesses that are sort of positively impacted, what other sectors have you seen that are kind of are moving and have seen a positive influence in this kind of time?
It's been interesting that one of the other businesses that I've been working with is CharterSync, which is a new business that started up that's automated the way that companies can put cargo on aircraft. Now, again, they thought that they weren't going to be that busy. But interestingly, they've been exceptionally busy, mainly moving PPE back from China, back to Europe. So Europe sent it to China, then China sent it back to Europe. So they've been pretty busy, but it's also proved and been very useful to them that it showed that their software, their app, does actually work. So it's been good testing times for them in that respect.
We were having a conversation this morning, actually, and some of the clients that we have who have got supply chains that go outside of the UK are really struggling to get space on kind of freight, so like actually have to pay a lot more to get the transportation kind of back, because I'm guessing there's a reduction in travel, in flights and transport that's happening, so I'm assuming it's kind of at a premium at the moment.
It was actually up to about a week ago.
Right.
That's all suddenly changed now. There's more aircraft available.
Okay.
Basically, some of the lockdown times in terms of trucks being held at the border has been reduced. So things. I earlier today I drove over the M2, and it's pretty clear to see that traffic is really returned to normal levels.
Okay.
So things are moving.
I haven't left the house, so I can't answer. I don't know. I'm just in my own little world at the moment. So, is there stuff happening outside? I just get the internet's view on what's happening outside.
No, as I said, apart from the pubs not opening, things seem to return to normal.
Yeah, and there's Premier League football starting tonight. I know you're not a massive football fan, are you?
No, I'm a rugby guy.
Yeah.
Basically, the rugby boys aren't allowed to touch each other, are they? So rugby's not restarted yet.
That's true.
Apart from in New Zealand. Actually, it started again in New Zealand.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. Because again, slightly frustratingly, when this all kicked, I was ready to watch. There was a rugby match I was lined up to see in March. I had some football matches. All my holiday was saved up for March, and all of it has now obviously been kind of put on hold until recently. So yeah, that's going to be a massive boost, I would assume. And obviously that's not ideal that you can't be in the stadiums for football, but it's going to be a really big kind of positive step in the right direction. Even as a rugby fan, I mean the sort of the place that football plays in the UK kind of psyche, it's quite going to be quite significant, quite positive news. I think.
I think there will be an awful lot of very pleased, especially young football fans, that they can actually start to watch their favourite players and start to be entertained again. It's going to be a little bit weird for the players, isn't it, playing in a stadium with nobody there?
Yeah, I mean, I was chatting to someone today, and they were saying that actually there's going to be some sort of they're going to pipe in people to the big screen. I need to find. Have you heard about this?
Recorded audience type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? Are they
live? Yeah, apparently. Oh no, they won't be live, will it? They'll be recorded stuff.
So I was like, I need to Google. I forgot to Google it before the show, but I heard that essentially they're going to be pulling in people who are watching the game, so there's a live reaction. I was like,
live. Oh, I see. That's interesting. So there'll be a live feed from people at home watching the game.
Yeah, and then they'll shout, and then it will be on the big. I don't know how much of that is true. Someone's doing some work around my house, and I was like, really? It sounds like who's going to sit there? It
does sound implausible, doesn't it? But I did actually see that. I think I just thought it was all recorded.
So Ian's in chat. Apparently, can somebody in chat please clarify? Is that the case? Is it live? Is someone going to have a camera or phone set up by their TV filming them so that when they then watch and respond, it's then on a big screen? Because if it is, it feels like a live version of Gogglebox that's happening inside a football stadium. So it could be the way to watch football going forward. Who knows? There's some sort of semi-live audience.
It'd be interesting for those professional footballers, because basically what they'll be going through is what every Gillingham footballer goes through when they play in normal times.
Well, my concern is what happens if you're sitting there and you're watching TV, and actually, you know, the person's there in their pants, and you're playing the football, and you're a football player watching this massive screen of all these people supposedly with their live image. It could be quite off-putting depending on what those people choose to do. If this is in fact kind of a live stream from people's houses.
I don't know. I said, well, how are they going to censor it?
Exactly. That's my question. Could be carnage. Would you believe it? We have in fact reached the halfway mark. Mark Hamill Mark Hamill today is our halfway mark. We are already halfway through the show, and I think Ben Hawks commented last time that we haven't had Mark Hamill. That's the second time we've seen Mark Hamill. We're running out of Mark, so again, there is a question out there for the chat. If you know any famous Marks, please do put them in the chat, because that would be useful. Oh, I can see my mum's watching the show live as well from Corfu. Hi, Mum. Big game on Friday. We will be watching. So Spurs are playing on Friday against Manchester United, so we will be watching that one, which could be awesome. Nell says apparently they're working in collaboration with FIFA to pipe in crowd noises. And Ben Thompson saying they're using fan sounds from FIFA. Lots of
misinformation. That's Seb Blatter counting his money. Is that what it?
That might well be. Yeah. There's lots of different versions of this story. I need to find out the truth. We should probably go straight to the source, which is no doubt going to be Donald Trump, because he's the only man who tells the truth when it comes to online content. So we'll see if we can see what Donald Trump's take is on the piped-in sounds into the football matches that will be kicking off as of tonight. Terry, obviously you're very involved with investments, okay, and pride yourself as a guru of understanding these investments. So we're going to put you to the test. We have a little game the guys have concocted for us to play. This one is going to be focused around whether or not the Dragon's Den, so whether these pitches to the Dragon's Den were accepted or not. Okay, so
right.
The first one, was it accepted or rejected? The Trunky. What do we think?
I believe that was accepted.
Let's have a look if Terry is right. It was rejected. I'm sorry.
Was
Terry.
it?
It was.
Well, actually, you see plenty of them in airports, or you used to when there was such a thing as airports.
You do. It's true. We have got one. We've got a Ladybird one. They are slightly dangerous. I'm not going to lie. Because the kids just roll off the back of them. So if you try and so as we were waiting for a flight, I pulled the strap because they have a strap. The little one wasn't holding on to it and rolled straight off the back onto a very hard concrete floor. Something to work on there, Trunky. But you didn't get your funding. Maybe that's what they were fearing, the Dragons. But you seem to have made it work. Moving on to the next one.
Dragging it into someone's shins.
Well, that's it. That's the other thing. You can't. It's got no steering function. So actually, you walk through the airport and you constantly have to apologise to people. So the next one, was it accepted or rejected? This is the road refresher, the non-slip bowl. Not come across this one myself.
No, I haven't come across this one. But this question is, do you need a non-slip bowl? I would say no. I'd say no. I'm out.
Okay, he's out. Terry is out. Let's find out. Correct. You were absolutely right. Nobody. I don't know what's happened to that one. That might have been successful, but I have to say I'm not a dog owner, so I don't know if that was successful. But you were correct. Let's move on to the next one. Was it accepted or rejected? Skinny tan.
So this is suntans for skinny people, I suppose.
This is tan and tone oil.
Tan and tone oil. Something obviously you can tell that I'm the nat.
I figured you might know more about this than me, Terry. I don't know. What do you think? Accepted or rejected?
I was based on the fact that beauty products are notoriously difficult to take to market. I'd say that this was rejected.
Let's have a look. It was accepted.
Was it?
So you're two incorrect, one correct. On to the next one. This is the next one. Wonderbly children's books.
What does that mean?
They are books where you change I think you can change it based on your child's name, and they integrate it into the content.
Okay, that's a good idea. So I'd say that was accepted.
Correct, accepted. And the only reason I know that is because we have The Little Girl Who Dared to Dream. That's one of my daughter's favourite books. So that seems like a good investment. Was it accepted or rejected? The Tangle teaser.
Do you know what? I actually remember this one, and I seem to think they got quite close, and then in the end it was rejected.
Let's have a look. It was in fact rejected, and it's now worth £65 million. And that is it. That is it from those. So I think you were 3 for 2 win. So that's congratulations. Well done. You know your stuff there, Terry. Clearly. And
I thought he was going to show me Brewdog. Obviously,
Brewdog too easy.
Rejected, now worth 360 million.
Yeah, I've actually reached out to Brewdog to see if I can get their CEO on the show. I'm waiting for their response currently. So I'm sure it's just a matter of time before they kind of jump on. But yes, I knew that you knew that one, so we didn't include that one. So nice. So what have you been up to?
Well, because it was beer related.
Well, this is it. I thought that was much more in your comfort zone. So what have you been up to during lockdown? Obviously not excluding the beer. What have you been up to during lockdown?
Well, so one of my ambitions for a while has been, as you know, I have a little bit to do in the hospitality sector because I still own a part share owner in Pearson's Arms in Whitstable. But for some time I've been trying to, or wanted to, do some holiday lets, but themed holiday lets. So through the lockdown I've managed to turn one of my outbuildings into a 1940s themed cherry pickers hut. So it was quite fun trying to source everything online because nothing could be delivered.
Yeah.
And things like 1940s wallpaper and fabrics and all that sort of thing. And it's finished. It's done. It's ready to go.
Amazing.
So anybody want to come and pick some cherries? They're ready.
That is. I did not expect that as an answer, and I don't think we've ever spoken about that before. So that is wow. That's cool. Have you got? So is there a website? Can we help with?
There will be.
Okay.
There will be.
Do you need any SEO, Terry?
Yes.
I know a company.
Yeah, we're going to get that done.
I might know a company that might be able to help with that. Oh, amazing! I bet that's kept you busy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of lots of things I'm not used to doing, like sawing up bits of painting and hanging wallpaper, and generally plumbing in high electric ovens, which I did myself. I didn't, by the way.
I was going to say, if you need that, there's Masoodin. I don't know if he's watching. So Masoodin, our client services director, he is less good at plumbing, shall I say. I think he tried to fix his oven door and broke his oven more. So if you want some help, I can certainly try to send him your way.
He sounds perfect.
Yeah, he needs some sort of practice. So if you know what you're doing, if you show him the ropes, I think he'll probably benefit from that as well.
Trying to fix a gas oven into the electrics, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be fine. He'll be fine with that. How things have been in terms of kind of technology? So obviously, we were meeting kind of more face to face, and then we kind of moved to technology. How have you found that? Because I guess we talked about it before. It wasn't something that you did a lot of prior to this. How have you found it? Sort of that transition to from real world into kind of the kind of online video calls. Is it something you're going to carry on doing, or is it going to impact you beyond sort of lockdown, assuming everything kind of reverts to exactly what it was pre-COVID?
I think it's if you keep doing one thing all the time, you tend to get a little bit nauseous with it. And I think doing lots of Zoom calls has been, it was great in the beginning because it allowed us to carry on working, that sort of thing. But wouldn't it be really nice to start meeting people again? It really would.
It would, yeah, absolutely. Do you think, long term though? Do you think you're just? Do you think you'll use it? When it's not an essential, like when you can choose, do you think you still use it?
Yes, I think I still use it. I think it's actually proved that we don't necessarily have to jump in our car or jump on the train and drive everywhere. Oddly enough, I mean, as you know, one of the companies that I sit on the board of, which is Jiminy, which is the sales support software business, their platform uses Zoom. So since last November, we've been using Zoom to have our board meetings. And I hadn't really heard of Zoom up until that point.
Yeah,
it's just taken off, isn't it? It's gone absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be the one of choice at the moment. I think there's a few others that are. So Google Hangouts are updating in terms of like noise cancellation and image sort of facial recognition, so that if you've got a bright background, it will still find your face and things like that. And I think Teams is doing an update as well. So I think they're all now upping their game and kind of making it a contender. But yeah, Zoom seems to have stolen a bit of a march on those guys for sure.
Can you imagine having 5% of their shares now would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those ones, isn't it? In hindsight, you're like that would have been great if I thought about it just at the kind of the start of all of this kind of kicking off. But what I was going to do, Terry, we are quickly running out of time, and there is one more thing that we need to do. So I don't think you've got one of these yet, but there is a Sleeping Giant Media limited edition mug up for grabs here. And so there's a chance that you can win that. Let's just have a look at the leaderboard. So at the moment we have a Nook in first place with 4, Carl Sakerston second with 3, and Deirdre Wells in third place tied with 3. So we need to beat that, okay? And as I mentioned before, it's Blockbuster Movies this month, and I'm going to start the game in just a second. We've got to try to get you that mug because it's special. It's a limited edition.
So I'm just going to steal one off your desk when I come.
You're not supposed to say that. You got to earn it. You got to earn it through this game. Right. Okay. Are we ready for this?
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, we're in place. Let's go for this. Remember, you can skip.
Skip. You don't see many of them flying in the air at the moment.
Airplane.
Yep. Airplane, yep. James Bond film, 8-legged sea creature.
Octopussy.
Yep. Skip. Oh, goodness me, skip.
Pressure's on.
The more formal word for mum.
Mother.
Yep.
Hi, mum in chat.
Right.
So
young men would like this country.
Young men.
Because there wouldn't be any of the other type of men there.
Oh my, what? That might be the best clue ever, but I have no. Hang on, let's have a look.
No country for men.
Oh my goodness me! Yeah, I needed to know that film.
Men would like that country, wouldn't they?
I've let you down, Terry. That was very good description there, and I feel like I've let you down with that one. I'm sorry. You're tied in second place with 3 points. Looks like Anouk's might take it. I know it's still early in the month. We've still got a few more shows, but she's sitting pretty at the top of the leaderboard there. So someone needs to. I need to up my game. I need to expand my film knowledge, I think is the situation. Just before we kind of wrap things up, what are the kind of the key or some other businesses that you've seen that are doing a fantastic job out there at the moment that you wanted to kind of maybe sort of call out and shout out and say, doing a great job?
Well, there's a company in Mason called DSL. They're Delaron Services. Mm-hmm. They are an M&E company, and the reason I wanted to mention them is that those guys have kept hospitals going through this crisis, as well as being in schools. As you know, schools have still been open. So their engineers have been going into all of the places where they've been putting themselves at risk. So a big shout out to them for keeping going and not complaining and just getting on with it.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much for that, and thanks very much for being part of the show as well. I know we get the benefit of your time every Monday and is it Thursday? Thursdays it is normally, isn't it? Yes. But thanks very much for joining today, and thanks for the insights that you brought.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Pleasure. Right, well, guys, that is it for today. Before we conclude, I just wanted to run this Giant Wednesday promo. So we have just launched our latest Giant Wednesday video talking about conversions, which we filmed in the office recently. So, have a look at the promo and subscribe to get a notification as and when these are released. It's now live on YouTube. Wrong button. Hang on.
Bye.
So that's it from us today, guys. As I said, there won't be a show again on Friday. I'm having a day off to kind of recuperate and let the brain cool down a little bit. It's been a few intense months, but we'll be back again next Wednesday for another show, and again back to the regular scheduling of Wednesday and Friday. But in the meantime, have a fantastic weekend. Best of luck with all the challenges, with all the opportunities that lay ahead, and see you next Wednesday.